I look terrible because I feel terrible. I'm really just making this video to document what's been transpiring since September of 2019. I said I wasn't going to cry, but so I enrolled myself into this university to finish out my degree. It's taken me so long to do it just because it takes me longer to do everything in life because I do everything by myself. But finishing my degree was really important to me because it's one thing my mom didn't get around to accomplishing, so I enrolled myself into this university in the District of Columbia, and I'm a senior now, and I have to take this course called Methods of Political Science. Sorry, guys. And really the course just entails the student picking a topic and then taking whatever method the professor introduced, the concepts the professor introduced, and then the student applying those concepts to the phenomenon the student chooses to explore. It's really that simple. It's really that easy. Methods of Political Science is a precursor to senior seminar. So what you do over the course of 3 to 4 months is really just research for the paper you will eventually write for your senior thesis, which comes the following semester. And I chose one of the topics that's been so organic to me and natural to me just because it's just a topic that I've wanted to explore. And that's really, it's just like, I just wanted to explore the diverse ideological affiliations among African Americans and why those subscriptions aren't reflected in the electorate. Why do we vote so monolithically? And I chose an interpretist method, which essentially means that you just use human subjects to survey, interview, observe, etc. You use these human subjects to attempt to explain a phenomenon. And my phenomenon was that simple. African Americans are diverse ideologically, but we vote monolithically. Why? It's something I wanted to investigate, and it was a damn good subject because it left me with one of the best problems that you can have as a student. It provided me with so much resources to just have to delve into, to just drown myself in. It left me with so much. And I would rather have that kind of challenge than the other way around. I would rather have too many resources than not enough. My first assignment in this course was to write a proposal, something as simple and rudimentary as telling my professor the topic I chose and why I chose it. And he failed me. And he wasn't too shy to tell me that I have an agenda. I think I knew then what I was up against. But the class was already paid for. I wanted to take human subjects. I wanted to place them in front of sets of value systems while withholding whether or not those value systems were liberal, conservative. I wanted to see what they most aligned with. And then I wanted to throw some social movements at them to see, just to see who they were as a person, to see if they knew who they were as a person. Because in my eyes, African Americans like myself, we vote with this idea of uniting ourselves with a monolith. We can have conservative values all day, but we still vote on Democratic tickets. Why? There's so many independent African Americans. There's so many conservative African Americans, but they walk into a booth and they vote blue. Why? Asking myself that question meant that I could pull from history, psychology, economics. I could pull from everywhere to try to get into the human mind, to try to explain why certain things are so important to us. And this body of work would have been so, it would have been work that I would be proud of as a senior. But I was gaslit. I was provoked into debates. You know, I'm writing about African Americans and our tendencies, and this man is trying to provoke me into a debate about the current state of our democracy and the Trump administration. And I couldn't understand it, because to give him the benefit of the doubt as my professor means that I have to ask myself why he's asking me about the Trump administration while I'm trying to write my work. I'm trying to investigate African Americans and our voting history. Well, we've been voting for how many decades? Donald Trump has only been in office for 3.5 years. What are you getting at, guy? I already know who you are. I already know what you vote for. I already know that you don't like conservatives, but we the students pay you. We pay you. You can't just give someone an F because you don't agree with their values. My work is in alignment with his rubrics and the criteria that he set, and he still failed me. So on December 24th of 2019, I spent my entire Christmas Eve writing him in his office a letter to appeal the grade I know I did not deserve. And he avoided all contact with me. He ignored my emails. He ignored the fact that I told him that starting today, December 21st or December 24th, this is my notice to you, sir. I want to appeal this grade. I got radio silence. Nobody cared. When I escalated to the dean, he doesn't care. He tells me that the F still stands and that he doesn't think there's been any bias shown against me. But he doesn't seem to ever mention where he looked for the bias. He doesn't give me any confirmation that he's read my assignments, because no one can read my work and look me in the face and tell me why I failed that man's class. If there's no political bias, how are my grades what they are? Let me make this very clear. This is a course where you pick your topic and you apply a method to invent your own experiment. Who fails a class like that? This dean brushed me off so easily. Just dehumanized me in a way I have never felt in my life. I don't think I've ever been the victim before in my life of anything like this. But the one thing the dean did get around to telling me was that I can pay to take the class over. He wants that money from me. So I escalated above his head, and at least the second time I escalated, I'm a little bit smarter. And I tell them, don't, for the love of God, just have an unbiased eye. Look at my work and grade it against the rubric that this man made. Grade my work. That's all you have to do. Is grade my work. It's August. The 3rd or 4th week in August. They don't care. I think I've made a decision that I've been really hard on myself about everything, and I think I've been so hard on myself because I don't like the way it feels to be in this position, and I don't think I like the way it feels to know that other people are out there like me who this has happened to. Discrimination because of political affiliation is real. It's just as real as racism. It's just as real as denying someone something because of their sexual identity. But what's worse about this particular case is that I feel like I paid them to do this to me. Being gaslit throughout a semester, presenting my work in front of a class and watching him snicker and laugh. Reading his rubric that clearly states that we cannot use anything but scholarly resources, no newspaper articles, only books and certain resources that, that he'll approve. I've done all of these things. Yet he's passed people who have used newspaper articles for their sources. And we're senior level writers. But he failed me. And then he also denies my use of... he's denied me of my use of right-wing authors like Dinesh D'Souza. He told me certainly not Dinesh. Not in my classroom. Not Dinesh. Excuse me, sir. You can't get away with doing this. I've got to push back, and I've got to get some type of legal representation involved. That's the only thing that I can think of. So I guess I'm just documenting this today, because I don't think people should get away with this kind of treatment. And I don't think we should sit on our butts any longer and just wait for people to make moves to protect political affiliations, you know, in certain laws and legislation. Like, maybe somebody needs to be the guinea pig, somebody needs to be the canary in the coal mine. Maybe that should just be me. I don't think I've ever been made to feel this crazy before. I'm telling this man all of my resources are relevant to my work. I have to plug into psychology. I have to go down these rabbit holes, but in the end it all makes sense. I am trying to investigate why my people are so different. But he had already made up his mind about me and what he was going to do from the moment he told me that I had an agenda. But what kind of professor, facilitator of any classroom says that to a student and gets away with it? Who can do that? I've lost sleep, certainly hemorrhaging money. I have lost dignity. I have been degraded. I feel so low, even though I feel like he should be the one feeling low. But it was just such a roller coaster, the ride they sent me down. They've gotten away with everything. We've got to walk away from this political bias business. If you're out there, whoever you are, and you have a professor like mine, these people don't even have the balls to look you in the face and tell you why they failed you. They just do it, and they avoid any communication with you after the fact, even if it's against the student handbook. I'm going to pursue my school. I think I've just made up my mind. And I think I need all the support I can get from you guys. Whoever's out there, whoever sees this video. It would be valuable to read you some of my work, so you, at least somewhere, someone out there doesn't think that I'm crazy and nuts. I'll read my introduction for you guys, just so you don't think I'm crazy. Conceptualizing what it means to take political action requires acknowledgement of how our beliefs and theories are structured by ideological thought. How do human beings conform to ways of thought that leave them on the left or right of politics? What subscriptions of thought guide our steps in activism so that our ideas may manifest in the material life around us? With respect to the findings of neurologist G. Edelman, who quotes, "There are more patterns of connection between neurons in your brain than there are subatomic particles in the universe. There does not seem to be one flat answer to the questions that have inspired this body of work, but a continual exploration of various scholarly samples not limited to psychology. Simplified, human beings are the most complicated creatures in existence, and so the question intended to be explored merits a more focused approach. why the voting behaviors of Black Americans remain overwhelmingly Democratic despite the diversity of political ideological subscription among them. The body of work will set out to reveal what is the most overshadowed phenomenon that takes place in the political arena to date, and feature contributing resources that support the hypothesis that the diversity of political thought among African Americans has never been reflected in our politics. That African Americans vote on behalf of what they perceive to be for the overall group's well-being, even if it contradicts their own ideological affiliations. This is work that I believed down to my core was good enough for a senior thesis. This is work that is more sophisticated than my counterparts who sat in class and who just wanted to talk about how Republicans are so racist, how Black people are hunted, mass incarceration, and all this stuff that I hear about every day. Well, I leave those subjects up to them, and I wanted to explore something else because I was given space and opportunity to. The university I attend has treated me so terribly. It's a university left me so broken. I gain weight, I lose weight, I cry. I sit up and I think, why would someone do this? Why would they do this to me and then slap me in the face by making me pay them again to do this to me again? Students don't deserve this. And I don't think any Republican professor should do this to a progressive student, and certainly no conservative professor should do this to a progressive student. And to see on record where this man has told me that I have an agenda. Why would you say that to a student? Why? Why would you say that to a student? What agenda could I have other than getting your assignments out of the way so I could move on with my life? Was he nervous that I was going to bring something to the attention of other students, that I was going to make them maybe leave one side of the political spectrum? That's weird. No one else is going to read my work besides this man. I didn't do this to spark a riot or to spark change into my fellow colleagues. They are who they are. They're never going to change. I did work that I was proud of, and my school has abused my time. They have degraded me. They have not even adhered to their own student handbook. And I think it's time for them to pay. So if you guys are out there and you have any suggestions or recommendations, please don't be a stranger. Sorry, this wasn't one of those entertaining videos and probably won't get that many views, but I wanted to update you guys on school. It's not going well, and I'm damn tired. Because I have fallen apart. But now I've put myself back together. I'm not going to cry about it anymore. Yeah. I have no more words.